Las Vegas Sayadaw Viññāṇa paccayā, Nāmarūpaṃ, dependent upon Viññāṇa, rebirth consciousness, there arise Nama and Rupa. In detail, this means that because there is consciousness as a condition, Nama arises, or Rupa can arise, or Nama and Rupa can arise. When rebirth consciousness arises, it's not just rebirth consciousness, right? What's Nama? Nama refers to cetasika, mental factors. Remember that? If the first type of great resultant consciousness arises as rebirth consciousness, how many cetasika associate with it? Do you remember? 33? Mostly, there would be 38 cetasika that accompany wholesome consciousness. But here, there's no apamana and no virati. There are just 33 cetasika that accompany resultant consciousness. The 2 apamana and the 3 virati are not included. These 5 cetasika are not present, which leaves 33 cetasika remaining. So even if we say that Viññāṇa arises, it's not only Viññāṇa because it's accompanied by cetasika. Cetasika is Nama. And Rupa is matter. The 28 kinds of material properties are called Rupa. Nama is Vedana, Sanyanya, Sankhara, and Viññāṇa. It is these 4 aggregates. These 4 are called Nama. Generally, though, Nama is just cetasika. In other words, the 3 cetasika aggregates arise simultaneously with rebirth consciousness. They arise together, disappear together, take objects together, and have the same base. We studied this in the 2nd chapter of the 1st book, right? What happens in the Arupa planes, where there arises only mind? Those reborn in the Arupa planes have just Nama and no Rupa. If we say that Viññāṇa paccayā Nama, it does not mean that Viññāṇa produces Nama. Please remember this. Viññāṇa does not produce Nama or Rupa. Have you ever heard the saying that mind is the forerunner or mind is the chief? This means that no mental factors can arise without mind because mind is the chief or forerunner. Viññāṇa is not only consciousness, it's not just rebirth consciousness. It is also cetasika. They arise together. So Viññāṇa paccayā Nāmarūpaṃ does not mean that Viññāṇa produces Nama. It doesn't produce, it supports. They arise together, but Viññāṇa is the leader. We're talking here about Nama taking cetasika. This means that because of Viññāṇa, Nama arises. Nama refers to the arising of the cetasika aggregates. What do we mean if we say that Viññāṇa paccayā Rupa? What is Rupa here? First, let's look at the reality of Viññāṇa. It's 32 types of resultant consciousness. What are the 32 types? They are the combined 46 Viññāṇa paccayā Nāmarūpaṃ, 15 types of ahetuka vipaka, the 8 types of great resultant consciousness, the 5 types of form sphere resultant consciousness, and the 4 types of formless sphere resultant consciousness. That's 32 types of resultant consciousness. But we can also look at kama formation consciousness, which is consciousness concomitant with kusala and akusala citta. We're talking about mundane, kusala, and akusala citta. See that? We're not only talking about resultant consciousness. With Viññāṇa paccayā Nāmarūpaṃ, the reality of Viññāṇa can actually be looked at in 3 ways. 1. The 32 types of mundane resultant consciousness. 2. Mundane kusala and akusala citta. 3. All consciousness. These 3 ways. What do I mean by all consciousness? Generally speaking, Viññāṇa means consciousness, right? It can refer to just resultant consciousness. It can refer to mundane, wholesome, and unwholesome consciousness. Or it can refer to all types of consciousness. Nama is the 52 cetasika. Rupa is the 28 material properties. Among the 5 aggregates, we have 3 cetasika aggregates. They are Vedana, Sanyanya, and Sankhara. Sankhara Khanda is 50 cetasika. When we use the term cetasika aggregates, we are referring to the 52 cetasika. They mean the same thing. So Viññāṇa paccayā Rupa means that because of Viññāṇa, Rupa can arise. In the case of the mindless plane, why are beings reborn there? Because of Viññāṇa. What kind of Viññāṇa? The fifth type of form sphere, wholesome consciousness. Because of this Viññāṇa, Rupa matter arises. Q. If there's no mind, how does the body stay alive? They're still alive by the power of their meditation. Q. When they die, do they regain consciousness? Yes. After they die, they will be reborn as either human beings or angels. We studied this in the second chapter of the second book. Before these beings became mindless beings, they did meritorious things. By the Power 47 Las Vegas sayadaw of this previous merit, there will eventually be rebirth as a human being or an angel. Here, I would like you to know that because of Viññāṇa, there can be Nama, or there can be Rupa. There would be Nama in the case of the Arupa plane, and there would be Rupa in the case of the mindless plane. Can you see the distinction? What kind of Viññāṇa is there in the case of mindless beings? Fifth, Jhana, wholesome consciousness. What about Nama and Rupa? When we exclude the Arupa planes and the mindless plane, we have the remaining planes. These planes have both Nama and Rupa, or mind and matter. For human beings, Viññāṇa paccayā Nāmarūpaṃ. When our rebirth consciousness takes place in the human world, it is one of the 8 types of great resultant consciousness. It could be somanassa, it could be upekkha, it could be jnana-sampayutta, it could be jnana-vipayutta, it could be asankarika, or it could be sasankarika. When this Viññāṇa rebirth consciousness takes place in the human world, Nāmarūpa, mind and matter, arise simultaneously with that rebirth consciousness. If our rebirth consciousness is the first of the 8 types of great resultant consciousness, how many cetasika will there be? 33. Not 52, right? No, there will be exactly 33 cetasika. And how about Rupa? There won't be all 28 types. How many will there be? 3 decades. Do you remember when we studied this? When rebirth consciousness takes place, we have 3 decades. Kaya dasaka, body decade, bhava dasaka, sex decade, and heart decade. These 3 decades arise together with rebirth consciousness. We studied this in the 3rd chapter of the 2nd book. So Viññāṇa paccayā Nāmarūpaṃ. A fetus in a mother's womb is formed by a combination of rebirth consciousness and the sperm and ovum of the parents. This is Nāmarūpa, or mind and matter. But even if you say mind, it's not only mind, right? It's mind and cetasika. It's chitta and cetasika. And it's not all chitta, not all cetasika, and it's not all rupa either. Instead, it is exactly one rebirth consciousness, 33 cetasika, and 3 decades, rupa. That's why we say that Viññāṇa doesn't produce nama and rupa. They arise together. But Viññāṇa is the leader. Do you remember what kaya decad is? It is the 4 elements, plus color, odor, taste, nutritive essence, vitality, and body. That's 10. How many inseparable types of matter are there? Don't forget this. How many? 8. Even a cup has 8 types of inseparable matter. What are 48 Viññāṇa paccayā Nāmarūpaṃ they? There will be the 4 elements, plus color, odor, taste, and nutritive essence. Nutriment. These are the 8 inseparable types of matter. When they form a kalapa group, we call it pure octad. To these 8 inseparable things, we just add vitality, jivita, and body sensitivity to get the 10 types of matter that make the kaya decad. For the sex decad, instead of body sensitivity, for males we add masculinity, and for females we add femininity. That's 10, right? And as for the heart dasaka, we have hadaya, heart. Many people think that a baby does not have life until the mother has been pregnant for at least 3 to 4 months. They feel that it's okay to kill the fetus before that point, because the baby doesn't yet have life. This idea is not correct, though. In fact, it's totally wrong. According to the teachings of the Buddha, jivita, life, is there once rebirth consciousness takes place. As such, you are killing a baby if you intentionally take a pill or some sort of medication to bring about an abortion even very early in a pregnancy. And this goes against our precepts. For that reason, we cannot advise women to have abortions. We can't guide them to do this, as it would be killing the baby. But nowadays, people don't think about these things, right? It's because they don't know. Avijja paccayā sankhara, right? Because of ignorance, there arises sankhara. What kind of formation? In this context, there is formation of demerit. Thus, they kill. It happens because of their ignorance, right? Then, when they kill the baby, sankhara paccayā viññāṇam. In other words, because of this formation of demerit, there arises rebirth consciousness. Where? What kind of rebirth consciousness? It's formation of demerit, right? It's unwholesome consciousness. What kind of rebirth consciousness? Unwholesome resultant consciousness. That is, upekkha santirana. As such, where will rebirth take place? In a woeful state. This is the way of nature. Q. What about patriotic soldiers who kill in battle? Although politicians may say that soldiers won't go to hell, that isn't necessarily true. We have to think about this and consider intentions. Q. What about someone who was compelled to join the military and kill in battle? 49 Las Vegas Sayadaw. It depends on their volition, or satana. Yes, perhaps they have been drafted and then sent to a war in which they are ordered to kill people. Maybe they don't want to do this, but feel that they have no other choice. Each situation depends upon its conditions. In an example such as this, sure, they're not totally guilty, but yet they still kill. Even ordinary, normal people who stay at home all day, every day still make choices all the time, right? They decide to do things mentally, verbally, and physically, and these actions give results. Even the intention, volition, to kill a small insect is sinful. So there's sankhara paccayā viññāṇam, right? Then there's Viññāṇa paccayā Nāmarūpaṃ. According to the teachings of the Buddha, when rebirth consciousness takes place, the 3 decades of Rupa arise simultaneously with it. A week later, what first looks like clear water starts to look like a drop of sesame oil. After that, during the 2nd week, there is form. In the 3rd week, it becomes a lump of flesh. The 4th week, it becomes solid flesh, somewhat resembling a hand. Then, during the 5th week, it swells into 5 protuberances as 2 hands, 2 feet, and a head appear. Next, there is body hair, head hair, nails, and so on. Do you remember when we studied the arising of matter in the 3rd chapter of the 2nd book? We can compare what these ancient teachings say to what doctors are saying today, right? Rebirth consciousness takes place, and then a baby grows like this, week by week and month by month. The Buddha didn't have any technology, tools, or instruments to know this, but he knew everything about mind and matter. He understood how they arise and disappear. He understood this through his own wisdom. Well, let's stop here for today. Thank you. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Any questions? Q. How does what you're talking about impact people who join the military for reasons other than killing? Sure, there are military people who join because they wanted to protect people, to protect their country. For them, perhaps it's not at all about fighting. It all depends upon one's intentions. And part of this framework is the question of whether they know that killing is wrong. Perhaps they don't. If they don't, then avijja paccayā sankhara, because of ignorance, kama formations arise. 50. Viññāṇa paccayā Nāmarūpaṃ Q. Is it better to kill an enemy as compared to some random person? It's not better to kill anyone. We shouldn't kill anyone. Q. What about killing animals? Much of this depends on the type of being too. Comparing animals and human beings, we can see that human beings have stronger values than animals. For that reason, killing a human is more sinful than killing an animal. What about killing a moral human being versus killing a human being who lacks morals? It's more sinful to kill the moral human being. What about if you have one parent with good morality and another parent with poor morality? Killing parents is terribly bad karma, but killing the parent with good morality is worse karma than killing the parent with poor morality. We can also consider this in terms of a being's body size. If you kill a chicken and an elephant, it's a bigger sin to have killed the elephant. See? When you kill, you use your energy and force to do so. That is part of this framework as well. So much of this depends on our mind and mental defilements. If you kill with anger versus without anger, it's a different thing. Can you see how one's mental state matters? It depends on the person killing, the victim, the energy expended, the thoughts of the killer's mental defilements, and even the victim's virtue. All of this matters. It's best not to kill anyone or anything. Q. Are we meeting on Sunday next week? It's up to all of you. Sunday is fine. It's okay. I'm ready for all of you. Any day, Sunday through Saturday, is fine. So see you next Sunday. Today is May 30th, 1999. Last week, we studied Viññāṇa paccayā Nāmarūpaṃ. This means that because there is consciousness as a condition, Nama, Rupa, and Nāmarūpa arise. We have now learned how Nama and Rupa arise. 51, Las Vegas, Sayadaw. Today, we'll continue with another link. Nāmarūpa paccayā salayatanam. This means that because there is Nama, Rupa, and Nāmarūpa as a condition, the 6 internal bases and the 6 external bases arise. To make it easy, we can say that dependent upon Nāmarūpa, there arise the 6 internal and 6 external bases, 52,